Good morning, scholars. Welcome back for day 2 of our shared reading, Gordy Gorilla and His 5 Senses. Today, before we get started, let's review some important things that we always look for when we're reading a story. The first thing we want to look for is the title. As quickly as you can, point to the title on your page or on the computer or in your own book. Ready, set, go. That's right, readers. The title is right here. Let's read it together. Gordy Gorilla and His 5 Senses. Now let's go back and put it all together to make our voice sound like a reader. Gordy Gorilla and His 5 Senses. Now, as quickly as you can, point to the author of the story. Good, the author is right down here. It's the person that wrote the book. They wrote the words. Mary Beth Bolts is her name. And where is the illustrator? You are right again. You guys should be pros at identifying the title, the author, and the illustrator because we've been doing it for several weeks now. The illustrator of our story is Arthur Lynn, and he is the person that drew the pictures in our book. All right, readers, so we're going to jump in today. But when we are reading, I want to give you another purpose. Yesterday, your purpose or your goal when you were reading was simply to enjoy the story. I hope that you went back afterwards to reread it and practice enjoying the story. So today, your job as readers is to make your reading sound like talking. Remember, that means we don't read like a robot, but we read like a reader. And to do this with you today, I have a special guest. Are you ready to meet my special guest? Today, my sister will be reading with you. This is my sister, Jada.
Hi, scholars.
And she will be reading the story, Gordy Gorilla and His 5 Senses. And she will be showing you how to read it like a reader. Are you guys ready? Let's get started.
Gordy Gorilla and His 5 Senses. Gordy Gorilla and His 5 Senses. Gordy said to Papa, "Help me learn something new. What are my 5 senses? What do they do?" Papa said to Gordy, "Look, it stopped raining. Let's take a little walk and I'll do some explaining." Papa said to Gordy, "The first sense is sight." Gordy said, "I see puddles, 3 birds, and a kite." Papa let Gordy pet the puppy next door. "The second sense is touch," Gordy said. "Show me more." "Your third sense is smell. Use your nose," Papa said. They passed by the bakery. Gordy sniffed and smelled bread. Then Gordy heard music that was coming their way. "The fourth sense is hearing," Gordy said. "Hip hooray!" "Now I know the fifth sense," Gordy said. "Here's my clue. The fifth sense is taste, and it's a yummy one too."
Thank you, Jada.
You're welcome.
Wow, scholars, wasn't that such a treat to have somebody different read this story with you today? I hope you enjoyed meeting my sister. Okay, before we go, I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I know some of you are very familiar with. It is connections. Can you say that word, connections, with me? Yeah, a connection is where you find something that reminds you, you find something in your story or you find something that somebody else said that reminds you of something that you've been through. So in our story, I'm going to make a connection to what's happening with the characters in our book. When you make a connection to the characters in a book, you're making a text to self connection. Can you say that? Text to self connection. A text to self connection is when you connect to something that happened in the story and it reminds you of something that's happened in your life. So I was thinking about this story and I was thinking about how at the beginning, Gordy and Papa went outside on a walk, and Gordy was able to experience his five senses while he was on his walk. It reminded me of the walk I took today after work. I went outside and I used my sense of sight to look at all the different houses. And I used my sense of smell to practice my breathing and to smell the fresh air. So when Gordy went on a walk with his dad, it reminded me of when I went outside on a walk and I used my sense of sight and smell to see the things around me. I also have a connection with Gordy's sense of taste at the end of the story. For those of you that don't know, ice cream is my favorite. I love ice cream so much. So when I saw Gordy using his sense of taste at the end to eat ice cream, and at the end his face is so happy and his smile is so big because he thinks ice cream is yummy, it reminded me of all of the times that I have eaten ice cream and thought to myself, this tastes yummy. So, scholars, as you go back today, I want to challenge you to reread the story and to practice putting your words together to make your voice sound like a reader. And I also want to challenge you to find somebody in your house to share what connection you can make with the story. Is there anything in the story that reminds you of something that happened in your own life? Tell somebody in your house about it. And if you want, you could even record yourself talking about it and send it to your teacher on Class Dojo. I can't wait to hear about the connections you guys make. Bye, scholars. See you next time.